a passionate guy. I get excited about a lot of things. I've always had big dreams, big aspirations, and wanted to make a difference in the world, make a change for the best, and help everyone else's lives as well as fulfill my own desires and passions. But there's a problem with that, and I'm a little bit of a perfectionist, and I tend to procrastinate a bit. So, in that mindset, I've always pushed back things that I wanted to do, bigger dreams that I had, and I focused a little bit more on the critical or the thing that was on fire in the moment and the urgent and not so much the important in the longer term. And in that, I kind of learned that I'm letting go of some things and dreams and desires that I really wanted to pursue and not making time for them. But my plan in that was, you know, I've got 35 years of work in my career, and then one day in the future, I can go out and do the things that I feel are important. I can make a difference. So I chose not to continue to pursue a dream of football in college. I've always been an athlete, and that's something that I aspired to really perform on at a high level. But I said, you know, after an injury, after some setbacks there, of trying to walk onto my football team, I decided that I'll worry about that later. I'll go on and pursue my career. And so that led me to pushing off some of those things and volunteering and traveling. And I pursued the career, got in here at ExxonMobil, and was extremely excited and blessed to be part of this great company and organization. But I found myself a year and a half in, you know, working hard, but also being a little bit overwhelmed and stressed, frustrated at, you know, kind of continuing to delay the things that I really wanted to pursue in my life on the personal side. And in that, I had an inflection point. So as I'm pushing those things off, I realized I was kind of living for the weekend, living for happy hour, living for a way that would kind of help me reduce the stress that I was putting on myself and the ways that I wanted to perform at a high level. And that led me to a place where I kind of hit an early life crisis. And you always hear the term midlife crisis. And I didn't coin it, but I took over the one that said early life crisis because, hey, we're millennials and we want things now. So I got mine early. So I was thinking, do I buy a Corvette? Where do I go with this? This is having some frustrations. And I remember going on a trip offshore in the Gulf of Mexico. I was a subsurface engineer. We were going to repair a damaged drill well that was producing a large amount of oil, and we had to bring it back online. I met a workover supervisor there by the name of Jimmy Davis. Jimmy was a fun, agreeable guy, and he was on his last hitch before retirement. And so I'm stressed out about making this job go well. Jimmy's cool, calm, and collected. And we finished the work up. It went okay. I go back to Houston. He goes back home, and he's off. And in our time there, he just shared about some dreams that he had, some things that he waited a long time to pursue, and how he regretted a little bit of waiting on some of those things, but now he had the chance to do it. And I go back to the office after our conversation, and a few months later I get an email, and it said, I regret to inform everyone that Mr. Davis has passed away unexpectedly. And I remember that moment, you know, hitting me pretty hard, because seeing the loss of this man's life, someone that I didn't really know but I had a connection with, and seeing him go before the prime years of his life and not being able to fulfill the dreams he had and spend time with his family like he wanted, that rocked me to the core in a lot of ways. And it tied into the early life crisis that I was having. And I decided, I can't do this anymore. Like, something has to change. And so in that moment, I went home, I made up my mind that night, something was going to change. I went to the office the next morning, walked into my supervisor's room and said, can I talk to you? He said, yeah. So I shut the door. I said, I quit. I'm out. I'm just kidding. Am I crazy? So, who's thought that before? Don't tell me. But what I did decide to do and change was I wanted to have a mindset change. I wanted to go through and do things differently than what I'd seen. And I've seen people live the same life from 25 to 75 or 25 to 55. So I was going to make some changes. I was going to start looking at obstacles as opportunity, make life an adventure. And so I had to give up a lot of things to be able to make room for the things that I really wanted to do. So give up the good to get to the great. And I'd heard all these quotes, and so I started pursuing those things. And in my life, I continued to train hard athletically, even though I had no goal or no vision of what I was going to do with that. But I just felt like that was part of me. And so I started living my life by the motto of get busy living or get busy dying. And so that was a quote that always stuck with me. So I began taking on extra work assignments so that I could travel more, because travel was one of the passions I wanted to pursue earlier in my life, but I never got to. And so as I collected some of these extra work assignments, it sent me to places like Bakersfield, California, which isn't a great place. It's nice people, not the most scenic place. And then South Louisiana, where I'm from, and not the most scenic as well, and West Texas, and the winters of Colorado. But through that, I got better opportunities to go to places that were pretty exciting. So I got to go on a work assignment in Western Canada for a little while, and then on the weekends, experience some fun things and see some really cool places. And through that, I began to travel more through my work opportunities. So I kind of did that opportunistic adventuring space. And then on the way home from a work trip in West Africa, I got a layover in Paris. I took the weekend off, went over to Switzerland, and started working on facing some fears and getting uncomfortable. And so this was something I wanted to do. It was always a passion of mine or a dream of mine, was to bungee jump. And when I got here and they opened this gondola door and I was 420 feet above the water, I changed my mind. This is a bad idea. But I'm a calculated risk taker. We manage risk. So I said, we've managed this risk. I've looked at the stats. We're good. Now I just have to take a leap of faith. So take a leap of faith I did. And scream like a little baby I did. So that was a fun way that I began to pursue some of those personal passions. But I was still waiting on something more. One day I got a text message from a friend, and he said, watch this. So I clicked this link, and up pops this TV show, and it said, welcome back to American Ninja Warrior. Up next, we have a competitor who's about to take on this obstacle course, and I was just captivated. I was like, what is this show? So I watch, and I just become fascinated by seeing this competitor overcome these obstacles, break through, and ultimately climb the top of this wall and show how he overcame obstacles in his life and also got to do it as part of the show. And I was really inspired. And I was captivated, and I said, you know what? I've never wanted to be on TV before, but I'm going to get on this TV show. This is something I want to do. And so I began training. I set out. I worked hard. Every night after work, I'd go train. I'd work out. I made an application video. I submitted it to the show. And I thought, I'm getting on. I've got it. I know this is what I've been waiting for. This is like my calling. And then I didn't get accepted. That's not funny. It was tough. But I found out that there's another way you can get on. If you go walk out in a line where they build the course and you try to camp out, which I did for about 4 days, there's a chance that the producers will say, we'll pull a few of y'all in with the regular competitors to go test the course, but you can count as being on it. So I got that opportunity after camping out. And so I got on the show. It was incredible, and it was really overwhelming. So it was kind of like facing fears again. You're up on the starting block, the crowd's watching. If you fall off on the first obstacle, then everyone's going to laugh at you and say, yeah, that was terrible. But I got on, and I made it to the 5th obstacle, was about to dismount to get to the last one, which is a wall, and to finish the course. And I fell in the water. And in that, it was really frustrating as I'm coming out, kind of dazed. You climb out of this pit, which I'm standing on right now, and you're wet, and someone throws a towel on you and pats you on the back, says, better luck next year. And they stick a camera in your face as you're kind of walking out, dejected. And for me, it's the reality of a year of training, of endless nights of preparation, of submission videos, of the long application. All that came into one moment, and I didn't make it like I wanted to. So it was a little disheartening. But then I got to sit down and watch as more competitors went. And I saw a girl named Casey Catanzaro become the first female to beat the first round and to beat the second round of this course, to beat all these guys and overcome her own personal limitations. And I was extremely inspired. She talked about in years past how she'd failed and how she'd been pursuing this. And so I was like, if she can do it, I can do it. I'm going for it. And so I was just excited that seeing someone with that limitation, apply that to their life, break through and inspire hundreds of millions. So the next season, the show was increasingly popular because of Casey Catanzaro's success. So I did the same thing. I applied, I trained harder, and didn't get accepted. So I'm like, come on, give me a break. But I had a plan. I knew that I could try to walk on. So I went into that plan. It was a little bit harder that year. So I ended up spending about 20 days and all of my vacation time trying to do this walk-on process. Eventually, through a lot of setbacks, I got on, got in, went at it again, and then failed again. So I'm like, why, God? I'm trying everything I can. But in that, I learned that failures are simply learning opportunities. And so it gave me a lot of reflection in my life about where that I was scared to attempt to try something because I was worried about failure. And now I was embracing it, and I was getting better, and I was getting stronger. I was moving forward in a lot of things, and I got to apply that to other parts of my life. A few years ago, I was at a leadership conference, and I heard one of our great leaders in this company share a vision and talk about problems in this world, talk about how we should be doing something about them. And in that, he said that true leadership is seeing a problem or a need and having the conviction to take action and do something about it. And that really resonated with me. It convicted me as well, because I realized that I was doing a lot of things that I felt like excited about, but it was a little bit more about how do I fulfill my own passions and dreams, and not so much about how I help others. And so I realized, I felt God just kind of speak to me and say, you need to be using the gifts and the abilities you have to help others to make a bigger impact, to do something else. You need to be giving of it. So I decided it's time to donate some of the things that I have, in the skills and the resources. And we have problems in this world. We see needs. We have places that are dark in this world and in the country and in the city that we live. So we need to be out there illuminating. And so I took that on and had some friends that were launching a church in Houston, and I decided to jump in with them. It was going to be a lot of work and a lot of setup on the weekends, and it was mobile. But we saw that there were a lot of issues in Houston that we could help with racial issues, with hopelessness, with needs, practical, physical, spiritual. And so decided let's jump in and do something about it. And through that, this organization partnered up with another organization called Living Water International. It's a water well drilling company, and they drill water wells around the world. And so I jumped in and saw that I have ability that I've learned from ExxonMobil of project management, of drilling, and of subsurface. And so I got to join in with this organization. We started drilling water wells, and it's making a huge impact in communities who are set back economically. They're set back with health issues. A lot of their children and women aren't allowed to go and get an education because they walk and carry buckets of water from their nearest water source, which could be miles and miles away. And there's a lot of health issues and setbacks. And so this helps impoverished communities overcome a lot of their own obstacles. And so I became passionate about that, got plugged in, got back from this trip, and I decided that, I saw the Ninja Warrior deadline was coming up for the next season, and I said, you know what, I've failed, been set back or had delays, but I'm not going to let that delay derail my dream. And so I'm going for it again. I applied, got a call, and this time I got accepted. You may have seen this coming. So I was like, yes, breakthrough. Got to go to Oklahoma City, compete, and I was full of energy. A Yahoo article came out soon after that described me as having drank all the coffee.
This is Nate Burkhalter.
Think we know who drank all the coffee? Nate Burkhalter isn't just another American Ninja Warrior hopeful. He's also an oil and gas engineer who's found a new passion after traveling the world for work.
Going overseas, there's beauty, there's incredible people with great hearts, but there's deep poverty. No access to clean water, very little to eat. I kind of have a heart that resonates with what I see. I just can't help but jump in and say, we can do something about that. I can do something about that.
Nate uses his engineering skills to drill water wells in impoverished countries, and he thinks that the gift of giving may give him something in return.
That's going to tie into the competition because my global experience, both with problem-solving skills and then just being adaptable and seeing everything as a fun challenge. I'm going to dominate the course tonight by bringing some passion, excitement, and adventure.
And the driller drilled the obstacle course, becoming the first contestant of the evening to get a pass to the next round.
Let's do this, baby! There you go, Nate! Nate Burkhalter, our first finisher of the night! Woo!
That was a huge moment in my life of many years and many, many hours of work and dedication and passion towards something that I'd previously failed in. And so that breakthrough was monumental, and I just remember being on that top of that wall and having my friends and family there and just saying, thank you, God, for not allowing me to give up and to continue to pursue things. And so I've still got dreams and aspirations in that show. I've had highs and lows since then. But there's still a mountain called Mount Midoriyama, and it's an 80-foot rope climb, and you have 30 seconds to do it. And if you make it that far in the show and climb this rope, then you win the whole competition, you win the show, You win $1 million. I'm not worried about that part. But I have my mountain that I'm pursuing, and I'm climbing steadily, bit by bit. And we all have those same mountains in our lives that we are pursuing and trying to climb towards. And so I want to know, like, what resonates with you? What has inspired you through some of these M-Talks to seek out that same thing and not be concerned with failure and not delay some of those callings? Farmers who wait for perfect weather, they never plant. And if they watch every cloud, they never harvest. So let that quote resonate with you, because none of us are promised tomorrow. And like our coworker found out, he didn't have all the time that he thought he had to keep pushing off his dreams. And I know that he would say, pursue it now, take a step, do something, make a leap. You know, I still have a problem with procrastinating. It's just part of who I am in ways. I'm pushing forward on that. I still haven't gotten married. I'm 30 years old. That was something I thought I'd do before 30. I've been in Houston 6 years now, and I still haven't bought a house because I'm waiting on that perfect moment, the perfect market side for it to all come together. But I've realized that I can't let delay derail my dreams. I can't continue to procrastinate, so I'm going to step out to pursue those things to make a difference. And if you do that, and if I've done that in my life, I get to take procrastination to purposed and passionate. So I want you to do the same thing. Thank y'all.